Hi, so I thought I'd show you my ginger bug. I've had it alive for over two years. And this is it right here. It doesn't look like much, but I'm gonna open it up and look at that. Now, if we stir it around a little bit, see how it bubbles? That means it's alive and happy. So what I do is every few days, after you get the ginger bug started with the recipe, if you want to keep it going, you can leave it on your counter, and every couple days just put some more sugar in it and some more ginger. And you can use this ginger for cooking, but strain it before you make it into your your ginger ale or whatever. You can make so many different things. There's recipes all over the internet on what you can do with your ginger bug. And it's full of probiotics like Kefir or Kombucha. So it has a lot of good stuff in it. So anyway, that's my ginger bug that I keep going all the time. And after I make my ginger ale, I just put that in the refrigerator, but I leave this out and feed it every few days. Keep it happy so it keeps bubbling and alive. So that's ginger bug. Okay, bye. Okay, next thing is my milk kefir. Now, that's in the same category as ginger bug, sourdough, kombucha. But what I do is I use raw milk, but you just put it on your counter for about 12 hours. And I'll show you the inside. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit. But you get these grains. See these grains here? They grow in there, and so those are kefir grains. And you get kefir grains and you put them in milk and you put them on your counter for like 12 hours. You can get the kefir grains online or at a health food store, stuff like that. But what I do is I have about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of kefir grains, and then I just pour my milk in. I like to use raw milk because it's organic and it's healthy, and you can use regular processed milk if you want to, but the good way is doing it with that. Anyway, you just put it on your counter for about 12 hours until it gets the right zing to it, and then you just strain it out and you drink it. And then you can use those same grains over and over again to do it again. Okay, hi, Jenny here again. This time I'm showing you my sourdough starter. Now, if you look in there, it's all bubbly, which is good. It's been sitting on my counter. With sourdough starter, you start with the sourdough starter. You can get a recipe online really easy, something like that. I got a dehydrated 200-year-old San Francisco starter off eBay from a family in San Francisco. So they confirmed it's over 200 years old and it's delicious. But once you get the grains and you hydrate them back to where there's steps that they give you on how to do that, then you constantly have your sourdough starter. Now, when you're not using it, you can just put it in the refrigerator for as long as you need to. And then like a day before you want to make your sourdough bread, you get out your sourdough starter and you take out about a cup, and then you put a cup of flour in and a cup of water. And you do that about every 12 to 24 hours until it gets nice and bubbly. Mine did it on one shot because it's so happy. So that's ready to start now. You always, when you put it in the refrigerator and you let it just sleep until you need it, you still have to feed it once a week. And you usually take some of it out. It's called discard, but you can use that for pancakes, waffles, English muffins, anything that you would use regular flour for, and it's really good, and it's not like massively sour, it's just okay. But and then you just feed it every week and discard, because if you keep adding a cup of flour and a cup of water, it's going to get pretty full. You're going to have so much it's going to overflow, so that's why you have to discard some of it. And it's best to use organic because it's alive, and as you can see, it's bubbling, right? And it's bubbling because it's happy. But if you put like processed flour in that's not organic, you don't know what other bad stuff is in there, and then it could just kill the starter, and that would be depressing. So this could go on forever, actually over 200 years now, but I just use it whenever I want for my sourdough starter. Now, my favorite fermentation things of all time is my kombucha, which I'm in love with. I drink like about 2 cups a day, so you know, I have to make sure I have it on tap at all times. So I'll show you my setup for that. So that's my kombucha container. And see, it has my tap, and I have this foil wrapped around it, and I have a heating thing inside, and then I have a thing that keeps the temperature at, you know, between 78 and 80 degrees. And that keeps the kombucha at prime condition all the time. So I'll take this off, and right on top, that's the cord for the heater and the temperature gauge. But this is the mother. And let me see if I can just grab it here. And you can see it's pretty thick right now. It's happy. But what I do is whenever I want some kombucha, I just pour it out of the tap there, and then when it gets low, when it gets about halfway down, I go ahead and make some more. You make some strong tea, strong sugary tea. I do a half a gallon at a time of sugar, half a cup of sugar to a gallon of tea, strong tea, and then I just go ahead and make that tea, and then I pour it in there, and then that keeps it happy. You got to keep the sugar going on in there so the kombucha keeps growing, the scuba. So that's a pretty big scuba. I'm going to have to peel some of that off and see if anybody wants it. If not, it has to go in the compost. So anyway, that's my kombucha. Oh, and another very important thing is when you're doing a lot of different fermentations, they can get confused with one another and cause mold to grow. So you have to make sure that they're at least 6 feet apart when you're doing it. So that's my kombucha. Then I go over here, and that's my ginger bug. And then I go over here, and that's my kefir, and then I go over here, and that's my sourdough. So keep them at least 6 feet apart, if not more, and I have them covered, but only with a piece of paper towel so the air can still get through, but no bugs or anything, because bugs love this kind of stuff. So, you know, that keeps them away. So that's what you do with that. Just a little bit of tidbit information if you decide to do more than one kind of fermentation in your kitchen at once.